Top 10 Power BI charts which are important and which should be used at the right time for the right situation. Hi, I'm M. Asif Hussain from KnowHow Academy. In this video, I'm going to guide you over the situation to use the right one, the right chart in Power BI. What is the condition in order to use the chart with a formula? And I'm even going to show you this practically with some examples. So let's start working on it. Here I have a Power BI desktop application. In this I have some data sets which are already loaded in it. Now the first chart that I'm going to guide it to you over is stacked column chart. It's very simple. As soon as we click on the chart, we are going to get the sample figure of a stacked column chart. Okay. As we can see that the vertical are the columns and the horizontal are the bars. Very simple here. Now the horizontal is x-axis and the vertical is y-axis. That we have already learned from our childhood days in our schooling. Now coming to the important point, in what situations we have to use this stacked column chart. A stacked column chart, you need to choose it whenever you would like to show the variation with the business perspective. For example, if you would like to show from which months, okay, or you can take it as from which regions, how much sales you have got, how much profit you have got, that is one condition. If I give you another example, if you take a HR analytics report, then in the HR analytics, in which month how many hirings we have got and how many people got rejected, that information also we can show it here. And even we can show what is the probability of hiring percentage in every month, that also we can show it. So there are multiple usages and applications for this stacked column chart. But now many of the people, they get confused which columns we have to choose in x-axis, which columns we have to choose in y-axis. Always remember the very simple formula in order to use the stacked column chart or in order to use a stacked bar chart is you have to have one numerical data with two categorical data. Now what is meant by numerical data? I'll always guide it to you here. One numerical data. Numerical data is nothing but only numbers. Only numbers. Then categorical data. Two categorical data, as I have told. Characters, where you have alphabets, okay, you have special characters, okay, you have numbers plus special characters included, and so on. So now the condition for you to use this stacked column chart is that either you take a column chart or you take a stacked bar chart, you need to have one numerical data plus two categorical data. So let us start working on it here. So what I'm going to do now, in the x-axis and in the y-axis, we need to choose the right information. Okay, so tell you the blind way of knowing whether I'm choosing a categorical data or a numerical data in x-axis. So for example, I'm choosing a category column, just drag and drop it in the x-axis. So it is considering my category itself, but it is not taking sum of category. When it is considering sum of category, then that particular axis is expecting the numerical data. For example, I will remove the category from here and I will take category in the y-axis. We can see that it is taking count of category. It means that y-axis is expecting the numerical data, x-axis is expecting the categorical data. So what I am doing here, I am just removing it, taking category here in the x-axis, and I am choosing the numerical data here. For example, I would like to see how much sales I have got from each category. So for that, what I will do, let me take sales in the y-axis. Then we need to have a legend. If you don't have legend, it is simple column chart, as we have only one numerical, one categorical. But the condition is we should have one numerical and two categorical data. So now we have taken one numerical, now we need to use two categorical data. So what I'm going to choose it here, let me choose, okay, from which region we have got how much sales for each category. So for that I'm choosing region in the legend. So once when I add legend, I am getting the values here. Okay, so this is my stacked column chart. If you want to have the data labels, we need to format it. Okay, I'm going here and I will, on my data labels, I am getting the values here. Okay, now we need to format it by increasing the size, and if you want you can change the color and so on. So this is how a column chart can be used. Okay, so now coming to the next chart that I'm going to discuss with you is clustered column chart. Okay, after I guide you over clustered column chart, then I will tell you what is the difference between this stacked column chart and clustered column chart. If you observe the stacked column chart, in one particular office supplies itself, 4 regions got differentiated, right? Again, in the technology itself, 4 different regions got differentiated. Now understand the clustered column chart. In the clustered column chart also we have a same formula. In clustered column chart also we have a same formula. We have 1 numerical plus we have 2 categorical. Now after you input the data, you will have a very clear idea which chart is the best, and the examples and the applications are also same. Okay, now I'm taking the same example here. Clustered column chart, either you take clustered or you take clustered column chart, or you take clustered bar chart, both are you can use the same data here. So in the x-axis, what I am doing, again I am choosing the category. Okay, so in the y-axis, let me choose sales. In the y-axis, let me choose sales, and in the legend, let me choose region. Okay, so now we can see here, I'll on the data labels in order to show you the values. So now if you see here, okay, in a clustered column chart, in one office supplies, 4 regions are having a separate column. In technology, 4 regions are having separate column. In furniture, no, 4 regions are having a separate column. Now the point is that just by looking at the visual, just by looking at the chart, we can tell that, okay, in office supplies we have the west region with maximum sales. From technology we have both east and west with the highest sales, just by looking at it, because the size of the columns are big and small depending upon the number of sales. But if we see here in the stacked column chart, all the regions are getting into one particular column, where until or unless we see the values, we cannot predict which region is having the highest sales. So we always prefer to go with the clustered column chart if you would like to show these kind of informations to the client and input this kind of visuals in a report. All right, so this is something about clustered column chart. Now let me guide you over one of the important charts that everyone should know about, that is line chart. Okay, so line chart, you have to use it if you want to understand the business trends, if you want to understand the business perspective. So line chart to be used for business trends, to know the business trends. So now what is the formula? In order to use the line chart, area chart, or stacked area chart of this line chart family, we need to have one date related information. Okay, you need to have one date related information with one numerical data, supported with one categorical. This can be optional. All right, so until or unless we don't use this date related information, we cannot show the exact information with the line chart. All right, so what is meant by business trends? Sir, what do you mean by business trends? Business trends is nothing but how much profit you have got when compared to your previous month to present month, previous year to present year, previous quarter to this quarter. So where you have footfall, where you have grown up in your business. So the business trends, in order to understand this kind of business trends, we can go with the line chart. So now let me guide over to you this one. I am choosing a line chart here. I am using a line chart here. So in this line chart, it's very easy, just we need to understand it. In x-axis, let me add the date related information. So I'll choose order date here. Okay, now I don't want year, if I don't want quarter, I don't want day, I would like to see it in a month-wise basis. That's why I have kept only month here. In the y-axis, I have chosen sales. When I have chosen sales, I have got the visual, as you can see. Now the point is that in the January month, this much is my sales, you can able to see it. If you even want to show some other information, such as if you want to show the profit also, for how much sales, how much profit I have got in January month. So for that also you can input the data in a secondary y-axis option. As soon as you click it, we have to go with the profit which is there in the sales table. So we have got sales, we have got profit, but my dear viewers, please understand it, we also have an option called legend here. Okay, you cannot add legend, I mean you cannot add the categorical data in a legend information in a legend field when you are having a secondary y-axis. Okay, if you remove secondary y-axis, then you can use legend. If you want to have legend, you should not have the data in a secondary y-axis. So I'll show it to you in the data section. Let me add the column called region. So I click on region. See, though I click on it, region is not coming. Okay, but if I remove it from, if I remove my secondary y-axis, now I want to add the legend. Happily you'll get the legend here. Okay, so please make sure that what information you are using it in a y-axis, secondary y-axis. If you want legend, then you should remove secondary y-axis. That is a condition. Now what I am going to do, if you want, you can just on the data labels and you can get the values out of it here. So this is how a line chart to be used. Either if you want to have months, years, quarters, day, everything, you can opt for everything. So line chart is probably used in order to show the business trends. If you want to use a line chart, we need to have the date column, which is for sure. All right. So this is something about a line chart. Now I'll guide you over another chart called as funnel chart. Okay, in the name itself we have something called as a funnel. What is meant by funnel? Now we all know what is a funnel, right? If you go to a petrol pump, if you want to fill up the petrol in a bottle, then he'll keep a funnel inside the bottle, then he'll pour the water in it. The part of the funnel will be wide, and as soon as it is coming down, it will be narrow, right? So in the same way, this is also a funnel chart. My dear viewers, please understand that whenever you are using a line chart, it is for business trends, but if you are choosing a funnel chart, it is used for understanding the marketing trend. Okay, so I'll guide it to you here. This is very important. Funnel chart. Funnel chart is used to understand the marketing trends. Okay, for this, let me show you a simple example here for funnel chart. So I have something called as data which is completely related to a campaign. Okay, what kind of campaign? Let me take it as an email campaign. Okay, so if you are talking about an email campaign, okay, so what is meant by email campaign? We might get multiple advertisements, about the products and all in our WhatsApp, in our Facebook, in our Instagram, in our Twitter, in our many platforms, social media platforms. We get multiple advertisements regarding about the business, about the institutes, about the colleges, about the products, about the companies, and so on. So now the point here is that I'm talking about a campaign which is related to email campaign. Okay, so here the data that I have, let me explain the data to you. We have a customers of 125k. Out of 125k, out of this I have sent email to 112k customers. So understand how much difference we have got. So out of 112k customers to whom we have sent email, only 85,000 people have viewed the email. Okay, so out of these 85,000 people who have viewed the email, only 75,000 people have just clicked on the email, whichever the links we have the pasted in it. Now the point is that out of this 75,000 people who have clicked on the email and checked all the products, only 45,000 people have added the products to the cart. So now understand, when only 45,000 people have added product to the cart, it doesn't mean that all these 45,000 people will purchase the products, right? Even if I am browsing some e-commerce platform, I add multiple products to the cart, but I'll choose the one whichever I want at that particular time, right? So in the same way, here also, out of this 45,000 people who have added the product to the cart, only 25,000 people have purchased it. Okay, now you have done a marketing about the business in email. Now let us understand how this marketing is going on. Always remember, when you are starting with a very wide way of marketing and it is slowly coming down like a funnel, it means that your marketing is not going in a good way. All right. So this is a very basic indication. So for that, I'll open up my funnel chart here. This is my funnel chart. Funnel chart is used for understanding the marketing trends. We can see the size of the funnel that we have got it here. So in the category, let me choose campaign stage, and in the values, we have very openly telling that it is a value, which is a numerical data. So I'll choose values here. I'll go with the number of users. Okay. Now understand that we have got the chart in the shape of a funnel. So now if you see the size from 125k, the size of the funnel is gradually decreasing. So it means that our marketing is not going in a good way. Okay. So we need to understand what is the bottleneck period, what is the bottleneck stage where we have to focus on, so that we can increase the people who can purchase the products. So that we need to give an idea, being a Power BI developer or a data analyst or a business analyst or a BI developer, business intelligence developer, we need to give a suggestion to the client that, sir, this is the bottleneck stage where you have lost most of your customers. So if you increase this stage with something, then your purchasing percentage also will get increased. Okay. So if you see here, the major drawback that we have got is in between this email clicked and added to the cart. So if you release some offers or by some advertisements, by showing that, by attracting the customers with some offers and all, yes, there might be the possibilities that the people might purchase the products. So this is how a funnel chart to be used, and always remember, this is used to understand the marketing trends. The line chart, it is used to understand the business trends. Okay. Now I will walk you over another chart. Okay. So this chart is a very interesting chart, which is pie chart. Okay. We all know this pie chart is also used in Microsoft Excel and apple pie and all. We also have pie products where we can eat it in the bakery items. So pie chart is very easy and very frequently known to everyone, that we had been learning from our schooling ages. Now when I'm talking about a pie chart, okay, pie chart is used in order to show the values in the terms of percentages to the client with level of category less than 5. I'm repeating it again. A pie chart is used if you want to show the values in the terms of percentages with level of category less than 5. Now what is meant by level of category? What is meant by level of category? Less than or equal to 5. I can call it as less than or equal to 5. If I show it to you here, what is the level of category that we have? So if I take you to the category table with the category column, so we can see that 1, 2, 3. My level of category is 3. So the level of category should be less than or equal to 5 in order to use our pie chart. Okay. So you might have a question. So if I want to show the values in the terms of percentages, but I don't have a right visual which can opt for more than 5 level of category, yeah, we have 100% stacked column chart, we have 100% stacked bar chart, we also have a table chart that we can show it. Okay. So that is the second perspective. So now when I'm talking about a pie chart with a level of category less than 5 and the values in the terms of percentages. So now what I'm going to do here in the legend, let me choose a category because level of category is less than 5 here, and in the values, openly it is asking me the values, I'll go with the sales here. Okay. So we can see that 1, 2, 3. So 57% is belonging to this office supplies, 23.15% is of technology, and 19.77% is of furniture, which is overall 100%. Why am I telling that the level of category should be less than 5? The reason is that if we have level of category greater than 5, then the pie chart is completely clumsy. Okay. So now let me show it to you. If I choose a level of category such as I will take a city. So see, this city is having more than 5. So if you see here, we cannot able to predict anything. We cannot see the city name, we cannot see the value of it. All right. It is very clumsy. If you look into this chart right now, it is something like looking like a backside of a CD or DVD player. If you see here how it will shine it in the multiple colors, it is looking like that. It is not looking like a chart. So if you want to use a pie chart, we need to make sure that the level of category should be less than or equal to 5, so that every chart that you are showing in Power BI, my dear viewers, always understand that every visual that you are showing it in a Power BI, it should be clearly understandable. It should be clearly visible. No data should be hidden. All right. So that's where pie chart can be used. So now let me walk you over one of the interesting charts that we have in Power BI, which is very similar to a pie chart. So that one is donut chart. We all love donut to eat and all. Yeah, so donuts are of many flavors that we find it in the market. So in the same way, we have donut chart here. So the very interesting thing about donut chart is, I'll not tell you the answer, I'll show it to you. So in the legend, what I'm going to do, I'm adding a category column, and in the values, let me add the profit column. Okay, if we see here, understand, you might have a question, sir, both are looking same, pie chart and donut chart both are looking same. So I'll just make these two charts visible side by side for your easy understanding. So what I'm going to do here, if we see it, the donut chart is also having the same information, and it also have the same condition. Okay, donut chart also have the same conditions similar to the pie chart. Okay, then you might have a question, when both are having same conditions, why should we use a donut chart? One biggest advantage of a donut chart is that the pie chart, it is not having any space in the middle, but the donut chart is having some space in the middle. This space we can use it. This space we can use it. Yeah, we can keep company's logo, we can show some sort of another information here in between this donut chart, which will look and attract more to the client or customer. Okay, so this is the difference that we have between this pie chart and donut chart. And donut chart always plays an important role because we can show two informations in one donut chart. All right, as I told you, we can add some card chart in the background, we can show the company's logo in the background, we can show some sort of information in the background, including the donut chart. All right, now I'll walk you over one of the interesting visuals that we have, that is card chart. Card chart is used in order to show the specific information. If you want to show a single value, if you want to show a specific key numbers, we go with the card chart. Now what is meant by key numbers? In every report you take, in every dashboard you take, card charts are there for sure. Minimum 3 to 5 card charts are there for sure in any report or dashboard. So now if I walk you over the various examples for this one. So how many customers I have? 100. How much sales I have got? 10 million. How much profit I got? 8 million. So who is the first customer? Asif Hussain. Who is the last customer? Asif Hussain. So something like this. If you want to show only one value, we go with the card chart. Specific value, specific key numbers, we go with the card chart. So now if you see here, we have only one fields option to enter the data. So if I click on this data, let me choose customer. So I'll choose customers. So you see here, my first customer is Aaron, right? So if I just right click it here, if I click on last customer, he is my last customer. If I right click here, 793 are my original customers. And if you see here, if I take count, okay, we have 793 as the original customers, right? So in order to show you the first person, for first customer, last customer, count of customers, we can go with this kind of card charts, right? So if I take another card chart for you, and I would like to show the information such as how much sales I have got. Okay, so I'll take sales here. So my total sales is 2.30 million, right? So in order to show this kind of specific information, specific key numbers, we go with the card chart. Card charts are very important when you are showing a report or a dashboard to your client or customer. Okay, now let me go with one of the interesting charts that we have, very similar to the card chart, that is nothing but new card chart. There is something called as a new card chart in Power BI. Okay, so in this card chart, we can input only one data, only one field section. But in the new card chart, Power BI has come up with very interesting feature that we can have n number of data. For example, let me show it to you. I will add a data. I will show how much profit I have got. I can even show how much sales I have got. So two informations. I can even show what is my total categories or which is my first category. So see here, very interesting factor, right? So we can, if I want to show my count of categories, so see this, sum of profit, sum of sales, count of category, right? So we can show three different informations in one card chart, which is called as a new card chart. But in the old card chart, we can show only one value, one key number here. So this is the difference. I am loving this new card chart because we can show more than one information in one card chart. All right. So let me go and explain it to you, one of the interesting charts that we have in order to show your target value. Okay, if you want to show your target value, what is your target value? For example, I have my minimum sales is something, my maximum sales is some XYZ, and my target is this much. So did I reach my target or not, and still how much am I lacking with the target? In order to show this kind of information, we can go with the gauge chart. Okay, so now I'm clicking on this gauge chart here. We can see this kind of symbol. We go with the speedometer, we have a pressure gauge, we have a lot of where we can see this kind of symbol, right? So it is a semicircle. So now what I'm doing it here, I'm adding some value. So value, let me take sales. So as soon as I take sales, you got some minimum value as 0.00 million, and the maximum sales is 4.59 millions, and this is my current sales that I have. Now if I want to add the target value, so see here, we have some minimum value and maximum value also. In my data set, I don't have a minimum value, I don't have a maximum value. If you have it, you can use it with your data set when you are working in. But the target value, if I take it here, let me choose something called as profit. Okay, so see this, my profit is my target value is 286.40 thousand. It is just 286.40k, but my current sales is 2.30 millions. So I have crossed my target value. Okay, so I have crossed my target value. So in order to see the target value with the minimum sales and maximum sales, with the minimum value to the maximum value, did you reach your target that the company or client has given it to you or not? If you want to see that, we can use a chart called gauge chart. This is very important if you want to see the target value. Now I will make you understand in a very easy way the very interesting chart, one of the important charts in Power BI that we have, which is matrix chart. Matrix chart is very important, and it is very interesting. Matrix chart is allowing you to choose what information you want to have in rows, what information you want to have, show it in a columns. Okay, so in a matrix chart we can show the values in the terms of a hierarchical. What is hierarchy? Step 1, step 2, step 3. So in this kind of a hierarchy, what all the informations you want, we can choose it over this particular matrix chart. So in the rows, let me choose something called as date. Okay, in a rows, let me choose as date. Okay, so even I will show it to you. Let me choose the category column also here. Okay, now I will choose in a column section, I'll choose subcategory. Okay, in a columns, let me choose something called as from which region I have got it. Yeah, I can show the data. So from which region I have got it. We have something called as values. In the values, I'll take sales. Okay, I'll take sales. Now see this, I'll just zoom it little bit bigger so that we can easily see what I'm going to explain. Okay, so we can see that we have 2016, 2017, 2018 and 2019. So whichever you are seeing here, years, dates, we also have year, quarter, month, day, then we have category, right? So if you see here, I'll just make you understand in a very easy way. We have something called as plus symbol. So I'm drilling down now. I'm drilling down. Drill down, drill up option is there for this particular matrix chart. So if I open up this plus symbol, so under 2016 for each quarter, under each quarter for each month, under each month for each date, under each date for each category, how much sales you have got for each region, you will get it. Very interesting chart, right? So for example, if I show it to you, okay, for 2017 how many quarters, from 2018 how many quarters, for 2019 how many quarters, right? For each quarter, under each month how much sales, under each month, for each date, for each for each category, how much sales you have got. Everything you will get it in a step by step. This is nothing but a hierarchy. So if I want to drill up, I'll drill up. So this is next step, this is next step, this is next step, this is next step. I'm back, right? So if I show you, if I drill down, okay, if I drill down to the next level, this is first step, this is second step, this is third step, then this is the fourth step, right? So it drill down and drill up. You can create a hierarchy in this chart. You can show what information you want to show in rows, what information you want to show it in a column. So matrix chart is something which is very important, and it should be used in every report. That's my suggestion. So these are the 10 charts which are important, and this is how you have to use it depending upon the situation, with some formulas that we have known in this video. So thank you for choosing KnowHow Academy as your source for IT knowledge. We are always here to help you to navigate the tech world. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out. It's been a pleasure sharing this information with you. Stay curious and keep learning.